We're live from New Delhi. You're watching TD India News, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next hour. 2 Israeli embassy staff killed near Jewish museum in Washington, D.C. Suspect taken into custody. As part of Operation Thrashi, encounter underway between terrorist and security forces in Jammu and Kashmir's Kishtwar, group of terrorists believed to be trapped. Members of Parliament carry strong message of zero tolerance against terrorism as India begins its diplomatic outreach on Operation Sindoor. First 2 delegations of the 7 arrive in Japan and UAE. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to virtually inaugurate 103 Amrit railway stations. Redeveloped Amrit stations across India will boost comfort, connectivity and celebrate our glorious culture. Donald Trump seeks explanation from South Africa's Ramaphosa over white genocide claims. Ramaphosa denies that his country confiscates land from white farmers. Tottenham Hotspur wins first trophy in 17 years by beating Manchester United 1-0 in Europa League final. And let's begin with the big news coming in right now. 2 Israeli embassy staff were killed in a shooting outside an event at the Capital Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C. A man and a woman were shot and killed in the area of 3rd and F Streets in Northwest, which is near the museum. Washington Police Chief Pamela Smith said a single suspect who was seen pacing outside the museum before the event was in custody. Suspect identified as 30-year-old Elias Rodriguez. FBI Director Kash Patel said he and his team had been briefed on the shooting, while U.S. President Donald Trump expressed condolences to the families of victims and blamed anti-Semitism for shooting. Meanwhile, Israel's ambassador to the United Nations, Danny Danon, has condemned the attack. Taking to social media platform X, the envoy said, and I quote, "The fatal shooting that took place outside the event that took place at the Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C. is a depraved act of anti-Semitic terrorism. Harming the Jewish community is crossing a red line. We are confident that the U.S. authorities will take strong action against those responsible for this criminal act. Israel will continue to act resolutely to protect its citizens and representatives everywhere in the world." And for more, we have Amrit Pal joining us on this. Well, Amrit, firing outside the Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C., 2 Israeli embassy staff members killed. What's the latest information you have right now from there?
Well, Lipakshi, the DC police is investigating what were the motivations of this man, though, different people, as you said, have said that it's an act of anti-Semitic terrorism. What eyewitness accounts say that the man was shouting slogans of Free Palestine. So it seems that it was somebody who got very emotional about the situation in West Asia. And undertook this act and shot these 2 people who were staffers at the Israeli embassy dead. This was, as you said, outside the Capital Jewish Museum where an event was being held. So now the police who have taken the suspect in custody are further investigating about the motivations of this man.
Right, Amrit. As you also mentioned, we know that Israeli officials described the incident as an act of anti-Semitic terrorism. But the main thing is that the shooting occurred just steps away from the FBI's Washington field office. A potential intelligence gap, maybe?
The diplomatic security corps of the DC, of actually the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the DC police is supposed to guard the embassies, but this wasn't at the embassy. It was at a museum. It was outside a museum. But you're right that it was in a high security zone. But as you know, in the U.S., you can carry firearms on yourself if it's a licensed firearm. So we don't know whether this person who shot was holding a licensed firearm. Was it his? All that is a matter of investigation. But you are right that the incident occurred in the high security zone in capital DC.
All right. Also, what reaction can we get from the Jewish community there?
Well, everybody's criticizing the incident, saying that it's an act of anti-Semitic terrorism. You quoted the Israeli ambassador to the United Nations. So the Israeli ambassador to the U.S. is yet to react to it. But everybody from Kash Patel to Donald Trump have criticized the event. Everybody is seeing it as an act of anti-Semitism. So it clearly sees, one can clearly draw links between what's happening, the situation in West Asia unfolding there, and somebody's anger coming out and a person resorting to such kind of acts. But clearly killing of anyone, leave aside diplomatic staff, is a criminal act. So everybody's criticizing that, Lepakshi.
All right, Amrit, thank you so much for all those details. And as part of Operation Thrashy, an encounter is underway in Jammu and Kashmir's Kishtwar district. Encounter is taking place between terrorists and security forces in Singhpura area of Yatra after a reported intelligence of at least 3 to 4 terrorists being trapped there. Well, the operation comes just a week after 3 terrorists were eliminated during an anti-terror operations at Nader and Tral area of Avantipora in the Pulwama district of the Union Territory. Well, the encounters come as security forces turn their focus to certain South Kashmir areas in the wake of the Pahalgam terror attack on April 22nd, in which 26 civilians were shot dead. Well, as part of the Operation Thrashy, an encounter is yet underway in Jammu and Kashmir's Kishtwar district. Encounter is taking place right now between the terrorist and security forces in Singhpura area of Yatra, and after reported intelligence of at least 3 to 4 terrorists being trapped there. And for more on the operation there, we are joined by Ankush Sharma from Jammu and Kashmir. Well, Ankush, what's the latest information you have from there right now?
Security forces have launched a joint operation in the Singhpura Yatra area of Kishtwar, where 3 to 4 terrorists have been trapped, and the operation involves coordinated efforts by the Army, Jammu and Kashmir Police and paramilitary units following credible intelligence inputs. The area has been cordoned off and intense fighting has been reported. So at this time, the fighting is going on, and on the basis of specific inputs, Indian Army, including Jammu and Kashmir Police, this joint operation has been established early this morning, and right now we have the initial information that 3 to 4 terrorists may be trapped in the region, and it is also believed that this terrorist maybe belongs to Jaish-e-Mohammed.
All right. Also, Ankush, as the firing is still going on, any precautions being taken there right now?
Right now the firing is going on, and authorities have advised residents to stay indoor because this is a very forest area, and due to high terrain in this area, terrorists might be took the shelter in the forest area. So on the precautionary basis, authorities have advised residents to stay indoors as the encounter continues, and this operation comes as heightened alert across Jammu and Kashmir ahead of security challenges. So after 22nd April, after the Pahalgam terrorist attack, security forces repeatedly trying to capture terrorists across Jammu and Kashmir, and they are getting success also. We have seen the two encounters in Kashmir Valley 2-3 days back, and now on the same track, the security forces is trying to capture remaining terrorists in Jammu and Kashmir, and the message is very clear that the no tolerance policy is implemented, and terrorists have to neutralize, and they have to eliminate from the land of Jammu and Kashmir.
All right, Ankush, thank you so much for all those details from there. And moving on, the big news we are tracking here at DD India News is that India has begun its outreach post-Operation Sindoor, wherein leaders of all party delegations are and will be visiting different parts of the world to apprise foreign capitals of the new normal in India's approach to Pakistan's use of terrorism. Well, the first delegation led by Janata Dal United MP Sanjay Jha reached Japan today. Upon arrival, they held a meeting with India's ambassador to Japan, C.B. George, at the Embassy of India in Tokyo, who briefed them on Japan's specific approach to engagements, setting the context for a strong messaging of India's fight against terrorism. Well, later on, the delegation will head to Indonesia, Malaysia, the Republic of Korea and Singapore. India's unwavering stand against cross-border terrorism, as seen in Operation Sindoor, will be highlighted in all engagements. And DD India's Polemy spoke to Sanjay Jha a little while back. Just let's listen in right now.
Members of the all-party delegation has already arrived in Tokyo a short while ago. Right now there's a briefing session that is underway at the Indian High Commission in Tokyo, where the ambassador is briefing the members of the party regarding the approach they are going to follow for the next 2 days in Tokyo. Also, the members will be briefing about their approach and how they would like to take this forward in the country. There are a lot of meetings, and including meeting members of the parliament in Tokyo is lined up for the day.
We have come today here, the all-party delegation in Japan, and we'll be meeting the Japanese parliamentarians, the think tank, and basically to apprise the state-sponsored terrorism by Pakistan. They are the one who fund them, they are the one who train them. You cannot differentiate between the terrorists and those countries who sponsored and promote terrorism. So that is the message we'll give to the Japanese people. Whatever happened in Pahalgam, it was all sponsored by the Pakistani government and Pakistani army. Even their army chief spoke a week before, General Asim Munir, and if you see the kind of language he has used, so it is quite a launching pad for what happened in Pahalgam. So that's the message you want to give here.
All right, and the second delegation headed by Shiv Sena MP Srinakant Shinde has also reached United Arab Emirates. The delegation was officially received by Ahmed Mir Khoury, member of the Federal National Council of the UAE and Indian ambassador to the UAE Sanjay Sudhir. During the two-day stay in the UAE, the delegation will participate in high-level meetings in Abu Dhabi, beginning with an interaction with Sheikh Nahyan Mubarak Al Nahyan, UAE Minister of Tolerance and Coexistence. After UAE, the delegation will also visit Congo, Sierra Leone and Liberia. And still to come in DD India News Hour. EM Dr. Jaishankar strengthens India-Denmark ties in Copenhagen, highlights cooperation and anti-terror solidarity. Dust storm, heavy rains bring sudden weather shift to Delhi NCR. IMD warns of cyclonic development over Arabian Sea.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. Lipakshi Khurana, and moving on, marking a historic leap towards modernizing Indian railways. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate 103 redeveloped railway stations under the Amrit Bharat Station scheme. The Amrit stations will boost comfort, connectivity and celebrate our glorious culture. Inauguration of 103 redeveloped Amrit stations in 86 districts across 18 states and union territories of India, developed at a cost of over 1,100 crore rupees. Over 1,300 stations are being redeveloped with modern facilities designed to reflect regional architecture and enhance passenger amenities under the Amrit Bharat Station scheme. The redeveloped Amrit stations across India integrate modern infrastructure with cultural heritage, passenger-centric amenities, including those for Divyangjan, and sustainable practices to enhance the travel experience. Well, the Samalpatti railway station in Tamil Nadu has undergone a major redevelopment under the Amrit Bharat Yojana. The railway station now has special facilities for the differently abled, mothers' feeding room, parks and other facilities. Warangal railway station in Secunderabad railway division of Telangana state has also been upgraded with the best amenities and connectivity under the Amrit Bharat Station scheme. Now the station looks forward to cater more travellers with enhanced parking facilities. Under Amrit Bharat scheme, Kuliturai railway station in Kanyakumari district, which belongs to the Thiruvananthapuram railway division, has also been upgraded. A 10-meter long national flag pole has also been installed. All construction work has been set up in the style of Tamil Nadu at the request of the passengers. The spacious passenger waiting room is also set up. A large form of digital board has been set up to find out the arrival and departure of the trains. Travellers and people of Kuliturai are delighted with the upgraded railway station, which is the second largest commercial city of Kanyakumari district. Bagalkot railway station has been redeveloped under the Amrit Bharat Station scheme at a cost of around 16.06 crore rupees. It now features a modern station building, improved passenger amenities, dedicated parking, upgraded platforms, lifts, escalators and a wide foot-over bridge, offering a comfortable and accessible travel experience. Bundi railway station in Rajasthan has undergone a major redevelopment under the Amrit Bharat Yojana, blending heritage with modern amenities. Bundi, famous for its paintings and forts, has been redeveloped into a beautiful, organized and passenger-friendly station. The iconic Bundi painting style is being showcased, giving the station a unique identity. Notably, each station selected in Rajasthan reflects the state's folk art, culture and traditions. Jam Jodhpur city in Gujarat now boasts a railway station equipped with modern amenities and state-of-the-art infrastructure. Thanks to the Amrit Bharat station scheme, the station has been redeveloped, enhancing connectivity to other cities. And in a significant nationwide outreach effort, a Tiranga Yatra is being held in various parts of the country to honor the courage and sacrifice of Indian armed forces following the successful Operation Sindoor in response to horrific Pahalgam terror attack. In fact, Palodi city in the Indian state of Rajasthan witnessed a grand Tiranga Yatra today, celebrating the courage of the Indian Army after Operation Sindoor. The rally, led by District President Manohar Lal Paliwal, moved through key city landmarks, including Ma Latiyal Temple, holding the tricolour high. Participants, including many women, cheered for the Army's bravery. Slogans of Bharat Mata Ki Jai echoed across the city as the locals came together in a powerful show of patriotism and gratitude. And moving on, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar is in Copenhagen, where he met Minister for Industry, Business and Financial Affairs Morten Botskov. The two leaders discussed deepening existing areas of cooperation and exploring new possibilities. He also met with Speaker of the Parliament of Denmark, Søren Gade, and appreciated his solidarity as India resolutely combats terrorism. Jaishankar said India values Gade's sustained support for building relations between the two countries. The External Affairs Minister also met his Danish counterpart Lars Løkke Rasmussen in Copenhagen. EAM said Denmark's strong solidarity and support on combating terrorism has been truly commendable. He added that the wide-ranging conversation on bilateral ties and global issues testifies to the strength of our relationship. Jaishankar also met with Indian community representatives in Copenhagen. EAM said diaspora holds the Indian flag high in Denmark and shapes our positive image in this country. And on to some weather update. After persistent summer heat and high humidity over the past few days, a massive dust storm signaled a sudden change in Delhi NCR on Wednesday. The Weather Department issued a red alert in several districts with predictions of light to moderate rain accompanied with thunderstorm, dust storms and gusty winds. But as skies became overcast, heavy rain lashed several parts of the city, while some areas also experienced hailstorms. Flight operations were impacted at the Delhi airport due to heavy rain and thunderstorms. This comes after parts of Punjab and Chandigarh experienced similar weather conditions with thunder showers and hailstorms in many areas. It comes as a relief to Delhi NCR residents after days of discomfort due to the rising mercury and high levels of humidity. Well, heavy rains also lashed several parts of Assam over districts of Lakhimpur, Dhubri, South Salmara, Hailakandi and Sribhumi. Widespread light moderate rainfall with thunderstorms and lightning are witnessed this morning, with similar conditions expected to continue during the next 7 days. None of the rivers are flowing above the danger level in Assam, while flash floods were reported in many parts due to heavy rainfall. In response to the escalating risk, the state administration has activated its emergency response systems, with multiple ministers visiting flood and erosion-prone areas to assess the situation. Also, the Indian Meteorological Department has predicted heavy to very heavy rainfall, thunder squall and heat wave in several parts of the country on Thursday. The Weather Department issued a warning for the next few days, also alerting residents to heavy rainfall in coastal Karnataka, Konkan and Goa and central Maharashtra. It warned of extreme heat wave conditions, dust storms and warmer nights in other regions. Also, the department has forecast hot and humid weather at isolated places over Odisha, warm night conditions over East Rajasthan, Haryana, Chandigarh and Delhi and Punjab, while thunder squall with wind speed reaching 50 to 60 kilometers per hour mph likely at places over Chhattisgarh, Gujarat State, Jharkhand, Konkan and Goa, central Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh and West Bengal and Sikkim. Well, Gujarat roars with pride as the latest Asiatic lion census records 891 lions, a 32% rise since the year 2020. Conducted across 35,000 square kilometers, the survey highlights growing populations in Amreli and new satellite areas like Barda Sanctuary, a major boost for Project Lion and India's wildlife conservation efforts. Take a look.
The 16th population estimation of Asiatic lions has been officially announced by Chief Minister of Gujarat on 21st May, and the numbers are roaring. Gujarat is now home to 891 lions, marking a remarkable 32.19% increase since 2020 and a 70% rise over the last decade. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hailed the efforts being made under Project Lion, which are ensuring the protection of lions in Gujarat, along with providing them a favourable environment. The census conducted from May 10th to 13th covered 35,000 square kilometres across 11 districts using the direct beat verification method. Over 3,800 personnel, including forest officials, NGOs and locals participated in this mega exercise.
16वीं जो शेरों की गिनती हुई उसकी शुरुआत तो हम लोगों ने मार्च में कर दिया था और उसके लिए काफ़ी तैयारी किया और फिर 10 मई से लेकर 13 मई तक पूरी स्टाफ और बहुत सारे जो वॉलंटियर्स थे प्लस गांव के लोग थे उन्होंने मिलके गिनती में भाग लिया। जो पिछली गिनती थी उसके मुकाबले 32.19% ज़्यादा उसकी संख्या हम लोगों को मिली है।
The lion population includes 196 adult males, 330 adult females, 140 sub-adults and 225 cubs. Amreli district leads with 339 lions, while satellite populations like Savarkundala Lilia and Barda Sanctuary show promising growth. Lions were recorded at 358 locations, with over 44% spotted in non-forested areas, highlighting expanding territories. Thanks to robust conservation efforts under Project Lion, Gujarat has successfully created a second home for lions within the state, securing the future of this majestic species. Taposh Bhattacharya's report for DD India.
And still to come on DD India News Hour. Fifth round of US-Iran nuclear talks set for Friday in Rome. Iran insists it won't stop enriching uranium. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canada talks to join Trump's Golden Dome defense system. And Qatar donates $400 million jet for Air Force One fleet, sparking controversy over gift to Trump administration.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Goa, a wild nature paradise, where over a third of the state remains wild today, and every corner is full of surprises. Goa's forests evolved through the seasons. Insects and crocodiles flourish in the monsoon, butterflies in the months after the rains subside, and in the winter, the jungle transforms into a haven for birds. Oh, there's a female right next to him. Oh my God, is that 8 otters? That's one of my favorite things about these forests. There are still so many secrets out there. Watch postcards from Goa on National Geographic.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News. I'm Lepakshi Kuran, and time now for a quick recap of the headlines. Members of Parliament carry strong message of zero tolerance against terrorism as India begins its diplomatic outreach on Operation Sindoor. First two delegations of the 7 arrive in Japan and UAE. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to virtually inaugurate 103 Amrit railway stations. Redeveloped Amrit stations across India will boost comfort, connectivity and celebrate our glorious culture. Donald Trump seeks explanation from South Africa's Ramaphosa over white genocide claims. Ramaphosa denies that his country confiscates land from white farmers. Fifth round of US-Iran nuclear talks set for Friday in Rome. Iran insists it won't stop enriching uranium. And Tottenham Hotspur wins first trophy in 17 years by beating Manchester United 1-0 in Europa League final. And moving on, Israel allowed 108 trucks carrying flour, baby food and medical equipment into the Gaza Strip on Wednesday as UN officials reported that no aid had so far reached people in need. After an 11-week blockade on supplies entering Gaza, the Israeli military said a total of 98 aid trucks entered on May 19th and May 20th. But even those minimal supplies have not made it to Gaza's kitchens, markets and hospitals. The blockade has left Gazans in an increasingly desperate struggle for survival, despite growing international and domestic pressure on Israel's government. UN officials said security issues had prevented the aid from moving out of the logistics hub at the Kerem Shalom crossing point. But late on Wednesday, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel would be open to a temporary ceasefire to enable the return of hostages. But otherwise, he said it would press ahead with a military campaign to gain total control of Gaza. And the United States and Iran are all set to resume nuclear negotiations on May 23rd in Rome, marking the fifth round of talks mediated by Oman since April. Oman confirmed that the nuclear negotiations would continue comes after days of Washington and Tehran expressing irreconcilable positions on Iranian uranium enrichment. Oman has long served as a mediator between them, facilitating quiet diplomacy amid tensions over Iran's nuclear program and regional security. US officials have said they want Iran not just to scale back its nuclear program, but also to stop enriching uranium altogether, a position that Tehran has said is a non-starter. Enrichment is the process of altering the uranium atom to create nuclear fuel. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei also said on Tuesday that his country does not need US permission to enrich uranium. And Israel's military announced that it had downed a missile fired from Yemen, from where Houthi rebels have regularly launched attacks they say are in response to Israel's offensive in Gaza. Well, the Iran-backed Houthis have regularly fired missiles and drones at Israel since the Gaza conflict broke out in October 2023 following a Hamas attack on Israel. Well, the Houthis paused their attacks during a 2-month ceasefire in the conflict that ended in March, but resumed them after Israel restarted its campaign in the besieged territory. The rebels warned on Monday they would impose a naval blockade on the Israeli port of Haifa after the country's military intensified its offensive in Gaza. And when President of South Africa landed in Washington to meet the President of the United States, it was with a deal in mind. But Trump responded with an ambush in a move that blindsided Ramaphosa. South African leader keeps calm in the face of an ambush by Trump about false white genocide claims. Here's a report.
US President Donald Trump confronted his South African counterpart Cyril Ramaphosa Wednesday with false claims of white genocide and land seizures during a tense Oval meeting in the White House. Ramaphosa had hoped to use Wednesday's meeting to reset his country's relationship with the United States, but Trump decided to follow a different curve. In presence of the media, Trump played a video and claimed that it showed black South African politicians calling for persecution of white farmers and white people.
Death, death, death. A lot of people are very concerned with regard to South Africa, and that's really the purpose of the meeting, and we'll see how that turns out. But we have many people that feel they're being persecuted, and they're coming to the United States. So we take from many locations if we feel there's persecution or genocide going on. Generally, they're white farmers, and they're fleeing South Africa, and it's a very sad thing to see. But I hope we can have an explanation of that, because I know you don't want that.
Ramaphosa remained poised and pushed back against Trump's claims. After initially appearing stunned by the move, he stayed calm, avoiding the kind of confrontation Trump had with Ukraine's president, Volodymyr Zelensky, in February this year.
Have they told you where that is, Mr. President? No, I'd like to know where that is, because this I've never seen. But, okay, let me clarify that, because what you saw, the speeches that were being made, one, that is not government policy. We have a multi-party democracy in South Africa that allows people to express themselves, political parties to adhere to various policies, and in many cases, or in some cases, those policies do not go along with government policy.
The South African president later termed the meeting as a great success. He still expects Trump to attend G20 summit in Johannesburg in November.
So in the end, we had a really good bilateral, although a number of issues came up, which you will all have observed. And we were able to have a robust engagement with Mr. Trump in your presence, and we were able then to have really good in-depth exchanges with President Trump and his other officials.
US earlier this month granted refugee status to more than 50 white Afrikaners, despite stopping taking asylum seekers from the rest of the world. Bureau Report, DD India.
Well, Canada has confirmed that it is looking at potential investments in U.S. President Donald Trump's proposed $175 billion Golden Dome missile defense shield. Well, Trump said on Tuesday he had selected a design for the project and named a Space Force general to head the program, which is aimed at blocking threats from China and Russia. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney said on Wednesday that he discussed the concept of the Golden Dome a couple of times with the president, but he declined to say how much Canada might spend if it decided to take part in the Dome project.
I think I'll say the following about the situation with air defense or ballistic missile defense, intercontinental ballistic missile defense, broader defense against, including potential missiles that in the not too distant future could come from space. It's one of the reasons why we made the commitment back in March for the over-the-horizon radar, the first phase of the over-horizon radar system, and that was an independent decision that we took. We are conscious that we have an ability, if we so choose, to complete the Golden Dome with investments and partnership. And it's something that we are looking at and something that has been discussed at a high level, but I'm not sure one negotiates on this. These are military decisions. Safe.
Well, amid all the talks about Golden Dome, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth met billionaire Elon Musk and other members of the ex-AI team at the Pentagon on Wednesday. In fact, this is the second known time these two close allies of President Donald Trump have visited the department's headquarters. A Pentagon statement said that the Department of Defense is committed to engaging with AI industry CEOs to ensure our warfighters are equipped to face 21st century threats. Also, Musk's businesses Starlink and SpaceX already have a number of Pentagon contracts. Trump's planned Golden Dome missile defense shield, which would require hundreds of sensors and other satellites to keep watch for incoming ballistic missiles, would be a natural fit for SpaceX and its Starlink unit. Well, U.S. President Donald Trump picked up a design for his Golden Dome missile defense system and named a leader of the ambitious $175 billion defense program. Here are details on the Golden Dome, where the idea comes from and how it will work. Well, Golden Dome is a cutting-edge missile defense shield. The aim is for Golden Dome to leverage a network of hundreds of satellites circling the globe with sophisticated sensors and interceptors to knock out incoming enemy missiles after they lift off from countries like China, Iran, North Korea or Russia. Republican lawmakers have proposed a $25 billion initial investment for it as part of a broader $175 billion defense package. But this funding is tied to a contentious reconciliation bill that faces significant hurdles in Congress. Whereas Israel's Iron Dome is a short-range air defense system that was redeveloped by Israel's Rafael Advanced Defense Systems with U.S. backing, the system determines whether a rocket is on course to hit a populated area. If not, the rocket is ignored and allowed to land harmlessly. Well, the Iron Dome was originally built as providing city-sized coverage against rockets with ranges of between 4 and 70 kilometers, but this has since been expanded. Also, the U.S. has accepted a plane intended for the Air Force One fleet from Qatar, a gift that has sparked criticism, including from some of President Trump's biggest supporters. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth accepted the $400 million Boeing-made jet and has tasked the U.S. Air Force to figure out how to quickly upgrade it for use as U.S. President Donald Trump's official plane. The plane will need to be modified before it can be used as part of Air Force One, the president's official mode of air transport. The plane is a gift from the Qatari royal family and is estimated to be worth $400 million. The White House says that the new plane will be transferred to Trump's presidential library at the end of his term. Well, a serious accident occurred on Wednesday during the launch of a new North Korean warship while leader Kim Jong-un was attending the event. State media KCNA reported that Kim Jong-un condemned the attack act, calling it a criminal act that could not be tolerated. Kim witnessed the failed launch of the 5,000-ton destroyer. He exaggerated the accident as caused by carelessness that tarnished the country's dignity. He later ordered the ship to be restored before a key ruling party meeting in June. KCNA said the incident at the eastern port of Chongjin was caused by the loss of balance while the vessel was being launched, and it said sections of the bottom of the warship were crushed, but it did not give more details of damage sustained. And during officers' address program in Dhaka, Bangladesh Army Chief General Waqar-uz-Zaman stated that the next general election will be held by December. He emphasized that his position on elections has not changed and that an elected government should decide the country's future. During his speech, he also spoke on various contemporary issues from humanitarian corridors to ports and reforms. And Nepal's economist Dr. Bishwanath Paudel took oath as the new governor of Nepal Rashtra Bank on Thursday. The 18th governor of the Central Bank of Nepal was appointed by the government following a cabinet meeting held on Tuesday. His appointment came upon the recommendation of a 3-member selection committee led by Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister Bishnu Prasad Paudel. With extensive experience in economic and monetary affairs, Dr. Paudel is expected to play a key role in steering Nepal's central banking institution, particularly amid ongoing challenges in the national economy and financial sector. Paudel was earlier the vice chairman of the National Planning Commission. And still to come, DD India News. Wall Street stocks tumble as worries mount about U.S. debt. Indian shooter Kanak clinches gold medal at the ISSF Junior World Cup in Germany. And India's renowned Kathak dancer and actress Arushi Nishank makes glittering debut in a recycled fabric gown at the Cannes 2025. Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Now. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and on to some business news now. Finance ministers from the group of 7 industrial democracies met on Wednesday with hopes of agreeing on policies to restore global growth and stability. The gathering in Canada, which also includes the central bank governors, marks a test of cohesion among the group of 7 advanced economies. The leaders began the day by exchanging pleasantries during a brief opening ceremony and group photo. The meetings over the next 2 days in Alberta will be about back to basics and will include discussions about excess manufacturing capacity, non-market practices and financial crimes. Finance leaders sought to downplay disputes over Trump's tariffs and find some common ground to keep the forum viable. But G7 members, Japan, Germany, France and Italy all face a potential doubling of reciprocal U.S. duties to 20% or more in early July. Britain negotiated a limited trade deal that leaves it saddled with 10% U.S. tariffs on most goods, and host Canada is still struggling with Trump's separate 25% duty on many exports. And the legendary designer behind Apple's iPhone, Jony Ive, has joined OpenAI to create devices tailored for using generative artificial intelligence. Ive and his team will take over design at OpenAI as part of an acquisition of his startup named I.O, valued at $6.5 billion. In a video, OpenAI chief executive Sam Altman said that a prototype shared between the two is the coolest piece of technology that the world will have ever seen. British-born Ive was an Apple employee from 1992 to 2019, during which time he oversaw the development of the brand's now legendary products, from the iMac and AirPods to the iPod, iPhone and Apple Watch. Working closely with Apple co-founder Steve Jobs, his designs revitalized Apple, making it the company with the world's 3rd largest market capitalization and a global standard for product design. And Vietnam's Prime Minister and U.S. President Donald Trump's son, Eric, held a groundbreaking ceremony on Wednesday for a $1.5 billion luxury residential development near Hanoi. The Trump Organization, along with its local partners, received approval for the project from Vietnamese Communist authorities last week, despite ongoing tariff negotiations between the U.S. and Vietnam. Prime Minister Phan Minh Chinh remarked that Eric Trump's visit motivated them to expedite the project, urging local authorities to provide maximum support and ensure the resort's completion by the end of 2027. Although Vietnam was initially set to face some of the highest U.S. tariff rates at 46%, following Trump's Liberation Day plan announced on April 2nd, the tariffs have since been postponed for 90 days. And Wall Street's main indexes opened lower on Wednesday as investors awaited the outcome of a pivotal debate around U.S. President Donald Trump's tax cut bill. All 3 major Wall Street indexes closed with their biggest daily losses in a month. Small cap stocks also fell sharply, with the Russell 2000 index opens new tab, posting its biggest daily loss since April 10th. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 322.8 points. The S&P 500 fell 30.3 points, while the Nasdaq Composite dropped 139.8 points at the opening bell. 10 of the 11 S&P 500 sectors fell, led by real estate, healthcare, financials, utilities, consumer discretionary and technology equities. Communication services stocks also gained. Well, you're watching DD India News. Our time now for some sports news. Brennan Johnson's winner helped Tottenham Hotspur end a 17-year trophy drought with a 1-0 win over Manchester United in a Europa League final in Bilbao. Johnson scored in the 42nd minute when United's defence crumbled. It was Spurs' first silverware since the 2008 League Cup and their first European trophy since 1984. This is the fourth time they had beaten United this season. Spurs will play in next season's Champions League while failing to qualify for it as a severe financial setback for Manchester United. It was a match between teams languishing in 16th and 17th place respectively after their dismal Premier League campaigns. An Indian shooter, Kanak, won the women's 10-meter air pistol event at the ISSF Junior World Cup in Suhl city of Germany to pick up country's first gold medal in the competition. The 17-year-old Indian shooter secured 239 points in the final to beat Anna Dals of Moldova by 1.7 points, while Chinese Taipei's Chen Yang-ching won the bronze medal. 19-year-old Dals is the two-time Olympian and reigning European champion. Meanwhile, India drew a blank in the men's 10-meter air pistol event, with Chirag Sharma narrowly missing the podium. He finished fourth in the final with 197.6 points. India sent a 57-member contingent to Suhl. And Gujarat Titans will aim for a crucial win in the Indian Premier League when they face Lucknow Super Giants in Ahmedabad on Thursday. Titans have already booked their place in the playoffs. Now their focus shifts to securing a top 2 finish, which would boost their chances of making it to the finale. The formidable top 3, Bisai Sudarshan, captain Shubman Gill and Joss Butler, have been in stunning form, providing the backbone for their victories. While Prasidh Krishna is the season's top wicket-taker with 21 scalps, he has been well supported by Mohammad Siraj and left-arm spinner R. Sai Kishore, who have each bagged 15 wickets. On the other hand, Lucknow Super Giants are already out of the playoff race and will look to end their campaign on a positive note with a morale-boosting victory. And Suryakumar Yadav's unbeaten 73 and a late blitz by Naman Dheer powered Mumbai Indians into the Indian Premier League playoffs with a 59-run win over Delhi Capitals. Mumbai posted 180 runs for loss of 5 wickets and then bowled out the opposition for 121 in Mumbai. Spinner Mitchell Santner and pace bowler Jasprit Bumrah took 3 wickets each. 5-time champions Mumbai have joined Gujarat Titans, Royal Challengers Bangalore and Punjab Kings as the top 4 teams. They will battle in the playoffs starting May 29th. Mumbai turned around their fortunes midway through the season. They started with 4 losses in their first 5 matches. Now they have 7 victories in the last 8 outings with 1 more game to play. An actor, producer and environmentalist, Arushi Nishank, makes a powerful Cannes debut in a stunning gown crafted from recycled fabric, blending glamour with a message of sustainability. Take a listen.
Actor, producer, environmentalist and a renowned Kathak dancer. We are at 78th edition of Cannes Film Festival and we are joined by Arushi Nishank. Welcome to DD India, Arushi. You made your Cannes debut today. How was your experience at the Cannes and at the red carpet? And also tell us about this beautiful gown. I would like to tell my DD India viewers this is a very special gown. This is not the regular red carpet gown. And why this is special, Arushi will tell us.
We are Indians. We never believe take, make and dispose. We always know how to recycle, reutilize things. And this gown made of all the waste from the fabric industry. It has been gathered, collected, done all the beautiful jardoji work on it. This is from India. And it has made with the zero waste cutting method. So that's why it become very important. It can be reused, recycled. And of course, we have to think about environment in a bigger way.
Nowadays, we are having a great presence of Indian cinema around the world. You're an actor, you're a producer, doing really well. What do you have to say about that? That Indian movies, Indian stars are making waves on the world arena?
It's a matter of pride that they give India a reputation, a recognition. And how we go to Switzerland and there is a big cutting in the hoardings of Kajol and Shah Rukh Khan. So I think this India cinema become a very strong tool and a powerful tool that which talks about India all over the world
to the globe, and especially the films, because this always have a strong message.
Thank you so much for joining us. Cinema is definitely a powerful tool, as Arushi said, and cinema is definitely uniting cultures and countries. And here Arushi is at the Cannes Film Festival with a very, very powerful message. With camera person Sumit, this is Jaya Sinha reporting for DD India from Cannes. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. Well, we'll be back with more news after breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.